Top Peaceful Preparedness and Outdoors, and we are out here again along the banks of the Apple Creek that actually goes into the Missouri River, and I wanted to go over my water and food system, or my food and water system, whichever one you want to call, but basic stuff I have here, and the basics of what the basis I have is I have two kind of filter kind of purifications, but mainly I am going to count on the fact that I can boil my water. So that's my primary source of taking care of my water. I've drank out of Missouri and out of the Apple Creek, and typically have no issues in this part of where I'm at. There's not a whole lot of livestock and stuff. I'm right around the town area, but there's a lot of other things that go on. We got to be careful about what's in the water. So never recommend anything like that. But you always got to remember that you are drinking water, and if you're going to be dehydrated, sometimes you got to make a decision whether or not you're going to drink and kind of be worried about getting sick, or get hydrated. So we're going to go ahead and spin around. I'm going to go over these individually here in just a second. I'm going to kind of start here with water. And one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to have a system in which I could access water from out either without having to take my backpack off, or way of accessing it if I have it hung up around the ground. And so I looked at these pressurized systems. This one in particular is called Watertight. It's decent. It's all right. I think I would have spent the extra $25 though and bought the Geiger. That one is high end. That's some good stuff. So just wanted to say that. My secondary, so this, I'm going to show you all my ways of actually storing it first, and we'll get into the purification. But I have the Nalgene canteen that's going to ride on my belt. Now this is a belt, I just took it right out of my J79 SkyCrane. I can actually use this all on its own system, just as a belt, my own battle belt or something like that. But inside there, that's where that goes. It's just a military cheapo canteen. I have a fire kit and some utensils and a knife on that side. Then inside that kit, I have a Firebox Nano that will ride inside of that. And then also inside the military kit, I have the heavy cover canteen titanium. And obviously the canteen rides inside there perfectly. So that's my, again, way to access water from outside of the backpack. I'm going to be able to access that through there. Now another source of water I'm going to have to be able to access while I'm on the go is I have my source, no pun intended, my source bladder. This is a 3-liter bladder, and my philosophy is to add, that will ride on the outside of my Eberlestock G1 little brother. These are pretty much the bomb, and then if I need to, this thing can ride on its own as well. It's its own little system as well. So I can add things into this if I'd like to. But typically I just use the bladder and hook it on, but it has its own backpack straps on there. So other ways I'm going to have to purify water, obviously I can use the Firebox Nano, boil water off that thing. And then I have my cook kit here, which is my MSR titanium, which I have a little fry pan. I just have some teas and some coffee creamers in there, some coffees, instant coffees. And then inside there I have my little stove, Trangia little alcohol stove, and I have a scrubber for that, and a little bottle of alcohol. And then I have 2 pots. Again, like I said, that's the MSR titanium set. I've never used these on open fire. I've just always used them with either alcohol or on a, just because they're expensive. Back in the day when I bought those initially, they were extremely expensive. What I have here then is, as far as my secondary sources of purifying water, is I have my MSR Waterworks. I don't know if I need to take this out of the bag, but basically that's your, just like the Sweetwater, you have a pre-filter, and then you have your hose, and then this thing can actually screw into a Nalgene bottle, or you can just, whatever kit, I can actually even, filter it into there if I need be. And then, of course, this is ceramic. And then this is also a carbon, and I don't know if there's ceramic, but they have the Sawyer squeeze. These things both are excellent, but up here in the north, I have to be very, very careful. And I think, anybody who's in a colder weather where it freezes, if you don't get these things blown out, both of these filters are shot if they freeze. So just so you know, you got to be careful with those. I typically go with boiling them. It's one thing I don't have my backpack right now, but typically I'll carry that. I just have my Transg because it's summertime. But I also have the MSR Whisper Light, and I also have the MSR multi-fuel that comes with the big red bottles. I'll show that in my next video about. I'll probably add that in my video about tools. So, and then for food, I go primarily freeze-dried foods. I have a bunch of teas. We added some more teas, but these teas are more kind of based towards if I'm having any symptoms of colds or anything like that. I tend to want to use that. There's some energy teas. I have some condiments, some Tabasco sauce, whatever, just kind of little pick-me-ups. Obviously, I have a bag of peanut powder. This stuff is awesome. It's just like I said, it's peanut powder. You just got to add water and you get peanut butter. And I have about 10 bags of the Knorr red beans and rice in there. Those I'm going to use up and I'm going to freeze dry. I'll talk about that later. Ready to eat meats, Spam, chicken, and tuna all in a bag. And then of course you have your backpacker's pantry and you have your mountain house. I have 4 of those in there. Now all that food comes in at a weight of about just over 6 pounds, somewhere in probably close to 7 pounds with the trail mix I have over here. I stuffed that all into just a plain old ditty bag. Don't have any bears or anything to worry about up here. Only predators we have are like coyotes, so we don't have too much to worry about. But if I did get into an area where I've had to hang it, and I did down in Kentucky when I was down there, but that can be hung. And I do carry some other bags, so. Again, hey, that's my system for food and water. So let's go ahead and turn around the camera and we'll give you a wrap up on what we got. All right, guys, so we went over a lot of my food and stuff like that really quick, to the point. I don't know if I need to go into detail of my philosophy views about any of that, but obviously I'm around a lot of water. I'm off the Missouri River. So if I'm bugging out, I'm probably going to be bugging out somewhere like here where I'm at a wildlife management area, or maybe a little further off, but I'm going to be somewhere near the Missouri River. I know the Missouri River very well on both the Mandan side and the Bismarck side of it, so I'm going to be somewhere probably along there. It's where I feel the most comfortable. But so you saw some of my freeze-dried foods I had in there. I have some Spam, some ready-to-eat meats, stuff like that, to supplement those rice and stuff like that. Obviously, the rice and beans are going to have to be cooked. The Spam and the tuna and stuff, I can't eat that on the fly. So what I'm going to do to make this all make sense is I'm going to add in part 2. I'm going to add my 5-pound survival kit. That's the top pouch that goes over the top of my Eberlestock. That can also be removed, turned into a fanny pack or a sling pack. It also has its own hydration system and stuff in that. And we're going to go over that next. I think that will help tie in my philosophy in this particular I.N.C.H system. That 5-pound kit is basically grab and go stuff on the go. And that's where this comes in. I never told about this, but this is all a high intensity trail mix, a lot of nuts, berries, those kinds of things in here that I could just go. It's not licorice, I just like the Mylar bag, but it's something we go in. There's some oils and stuff like this I can add in, particular avocado oil that I carry in a little thing in here that I can add in. It has tons of calorie and tons of energy. So those are my philosophy behind that. Now the food that I have in the G1 Little Brother, that is I want to say that's going to last me about 5 days if I was eating a good 3 meals a day. But my philosophy behind the I.N.C.H bag is that you're going to have to supplement and resupply. So it's to get you where you need to go to get some sort of shelter, whether it's a natural disaster, riots, whatever it might be, that you need to get the heck out of Dodge and find yourself somewhere a little more safe. But that's kind of the philosophy behind that particular bag and the food that I have in it. It's water-based, so I'm going to have to be near water. But also it has some definite shelf life and stuff like that. Now the Knorr's, rice and stuff like that, I took probably some shelf life off that due to the fact that I've put it on individual bags and then wrapped them all in one. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to use those up and then I'm going to freeze dry some of the other food. I'm going to probably add some more ready to eat kind of stuff, just some energy, some things to get me where I'm going. As you can see, that little brother, the J79 SkyCrane bag, the way I have it set out, and again we'll get into all the contents and stuff of that shortly, but we're putting about 64 pounds, not including water. I have ammo and food including in that, but 64 pounds of That's pretty heavy. Heavy for me, as you can see in that little intro that I did, but it's once you get it on, that SkyCrane too, that Eberlestock SkyCrane can definitely help you support the weight. But in extreme heat like we have in North Dakota right now, about 90 plus degrees, soaring into the hundreds every now and again, you got to watch it. And plus at times when it's extremely cold, because then you're going to have another, I don't know, 7-8 pounds worth of clothes on. So it's an interesting thing to think about. Fortunately, hopefully we will never have to use those kind of systems. So, hey, this is Todd with Peaceful and Preparedness and Outdoors. And always remember, always be prepared to live outdoors.